What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and most toxic black man on the internet. And apparently, I'm the arch nemesis of the Passport Bros as well. And I am black up in your face again with some more pro black commentary. So, I made my video talking about the disgrace and the embarrassing situation that happened with Mr. Austin Hollerman as he went down to Brazil and made a lot of very goofy YouTube videos, and it wound up getting on the radar of some feminists down in Brazil, and it caused him to basically get chased out of Brazil and have his life threatened and everything, and he kind of just moved out of there as quickly as he could and, wound up somewhere else, which we'll talk about a little bit in a few minutes in this video. But I made that video, and I felt I was actually pretty fair and actually pretty respectful of him, considering the nonsense that really goes on with the mentality of the Passport Bros. But a lot of them took offense to that video, which is very interesting to me because, actually, two things happened. When they came here, either they got mad at me for what I said, or they got mad at me, but they threw Austin under the bus, which I found very interesting. The fact that they would throw one of their own under the bus in order to avoid any type of responsibility or culpability for that type of behavior. They tried to distance themselves from him. And I thought that was a very interesting thing to see. Okay. But then you have the other side who just were upset that I would even dare to say anything about Austin, and I must be a beta male or a simp or whatever other childish names they've come up with to describe people like me, right? That can actually think and have logic and acts like a man is supposed to act. They abhor that type of thing. They want to act like this new version of what social media and this new mindset of the gender war has turned males into. I can't call them men, so I'm trying to find other words. So I can say they're males still. They still have male genitalia. They still have lots of testosterone, but they don't know what to do with either one. And it's twisted their minds, basically. Okay. And what's funny was you had a lot of these guys who are quote unquote dating coaches, or they give dating advice. They came here to my channel as well. And, just a bunch of guys who are a bunch of Kevin Samuel knockoffs and, great value Kevin Samuels. They dress like him. They try to dress up in these these suits that they probably got from Dillard's or something like that, or off Amazon.com, and try to look intelligent or like they're informed about something, and they pass themselves off as dating coaches or relationship coaches, and it was just very funny. Okay. And I don't really take any of them seriously. I went back and forth with a few of them, but after a while, I stopped caring, and I wanted to do this video just kind of as like a little bit of a follow up and a addendum to talk about a few things that I didn't get a chance to talk about in the other video where I talked about the situation. And more stuff has happened since then. Like Austin has resurfaced in Thailand, of all places, and he's done some videos where he's simping and cupcaking with this girl from Thailand, and she looks like everything that you would assume that Austin wouldn't like. Like if a black American girl showed up with her hair dyed and tattoos and with this kind of funky attitude or whatever, you would think that he wouldn't like that. But I guess when she's from Thailand, it's okay. And another thing, the girl wasn't all that cute, by the way. I don't know how guys judge women from Asia, but I've never really been into any women from Asia. There are some very nice ones that I've met in my life and my own travels, but they've never been my thing. So, maybe you guys will see that girl as attractive. I don't. She wasn't really all that. I've seen better looking Asian women out there if we're talking about passport bros going to these other countries and getting dime pieces. But see, then you guys move the goal stick. When people make that criticism of the way that a lot of these women look, then you move the goal stick and say, well, it's not about looks, it's that she's more feminine and she's nicer or whatever, and she's more easier to approach. So then you guys change the criteria of what it means to be a passport bro and what type of women you guys look for. So, I mean, you can't nail these guys down with anything, and you can't actually have a logical conversation with any of them. It's all emotions with them. That's why they're in the predicament that they're in the first place. And I understand what the brother Sean James was talking about when he talked about, not wanting to engage with the passport bros anymore, and how he had to kind of delete some of the videos that he made about them because just the way that they were acting, where they were, doxing him and trying to find out things about him and trying to, mess up his livelihood and whatnot. And I can understand from his perspective. And another thing he was trying to do was actually trying to save black men the embarrassment by the way that they were acting when he criticized the passport bros some time ago. You see what I'm saying? Now, I don't have that same concern because I don't, based on the way that only a few of them act, it doesn't really bother me because I know most black men don't act the same way. I don't just interact with black people on social media. I interact with them in regular, real life all the time, especially other black men. And most black men are not even concerned about this type of nonsense. You see what I'm saying? They're just working and providing for their families, or, if they don't have a family, they're just working and building stuff for themselves. So there's not a lot of realism in the way that a lot of these men function. Even the black men I know who travel, whether they've been in the military or just travel because of work, they're not concerned or deal with a lot of this nonsense. And that was the main thing I was trying to bring up in that video, where there's a big difference between black men who travel and the passport bros. Like, I think a lot of people conflate these two things and, like, kind of switch back and forth, especially the passport bros. They like to hide behind black men who travel, okay, and black men who have businesses abroad or whatever, or who just have a job where that sends them abroad. Passport bros like to hide behind those types of men, okay, and make it seem like that's what they're doing. But those are two completely different things, and I've learned this just from observing how a lot of you act on social media. Okay, when I talk about passport bros, I'm talking about a lot of these Rudy Poop goofy guys who get online, and first of all, the vast majority of them travel nowhere. They're only on social media, and they talk mess about how they'll put up a video or an image of black women doing something stupid, and they'll say this is the reason why black men need their passport. It's the same nonsense that they used to say when they said, save yourself, black man, or, now they just put hashtag passport bros as well. Okay, so it's all the same manosphere trash, and every once in a while you'll actually have a black person or black male who actually does travel or live somewhere else, and they espouse that nonsense too. So instead of paying attention to that great living abroad life that they have, instead of paying attention to their new woman, they're still getting on social media and wasting their time tearing down black women in America. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, there's obviously some sort of mental disconnect there, and they have some sort of weird obsession with black women in America. Like, you would think if you've left a certain situation and you've gotten out of a certain area and you don't mess with a certain type of woman anymore, why are you still concerned with that? It's no different, and I keep bringing this up, there's no difference between the passport bros and divestors. It's no different than these divestors who say, I've left Blackistan, I've gotten away from Blackistan, and I'm with white folks now, but I'm still making videos talking bad about black men. You see what I'm saying? So this whole gender war thing has messed up the minds of both sides of this, okay? And, I felt like I was very fair to Austin, even though he's still making really dumb mistakes. Like, when I watched those videos of him in Thailand, I was wondering what was going on through his head. Let's say if I'm on a date with a female, I'm not going to be recording on my phone 24/7. And because all he did on that phone was make himself look lame, first of all, because he was saying a lot of corny stuff and just kind of proving to me why he has trouble getting women anywhere, whether it be, United States, in different countries, or whatever. Because I think even when he was in Brazil, I think he was getting rejected a lot as well. It wasn't all sunshine and roses and big booty Brazil porn fantasies that he professed it to be. Okay, because I mean, well, I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to say I know women from Brazil and Latin America, and they don't go for a lot of the lame stuff either. Okay, you still got to be a certain type of man to get those types of women. But I'm not going to get into that here because I'll waste time going off on a tangent, just talking about my own experiences living around those types of women and working with those types of women in Latin American cities and companies and everything else. Okay, but I'll just say this, that Austin, he has a lot of growing up to do. And one of the reasons I didn't completely skewer him and attack him is because of his age. I hope that 10 years from now, he'll come back and have learned some lessons about how he should be acting around women if he's really concerned about having a relationship. But he's said a lot of very juvenile things already, that he's always had this obsession with light-skinned women with long hair and everything. So there's already a level of self-hate and coonery involved in his mindset, and that showcases in a lot of the passport bros, or the black male manosphere. There's a lot of self-hate mixed in there to begin with. So a lot of them, when they talk about how much they don't like black women, it has really nothing to do with how any black woman acts. They would, even if you got a demure, nice, confident, and feminine black woman, they still wouldn't like her because she is a black woman. You see what I'm saying? They only make excuses for and love women who are light skinned with long hair. And I mean, that's just the truth of the matter, guys. I don't know why none of them want to admit to that. Just say it. At least Austin admitted that, so I can't really be mad at him for being honest about it, right? But I mean, I want to hear what you folks have to say. And I know a lot of the passport bros and the black manosphere types and the dating coaches. I know you're lurking on here like cockroaches underneath the refrigerator, or you're just waiting for the lights to go off so you can come out and do your work. So I will turn the lights out, and you guys can come out on the counter and nibble on the crumbs of what we're talking about here. Anyway, Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on these devils' back.